Hello everyone, I'm Sumant. I'm an assistant professor at Cresta School of Management, Science and Arts, Mysore. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you about a concept in financial management known as degree of operating leverage. Any final year's BBM or BCom student who has chosen financial management as their specialization or elective will find this useful. And before exploring the concept of operating leverage, let us understand what leverage means. Before understanding it, I'd like to give you a simple illustration. I have this huge object. Okay, it is very heavy, it's huge. I want to push it to a certain direction. Let's say to the right. Okay, because arrow mark point that in that direction. So I want to push this object to the right. That is to the direction at which the arrow mark is pointing. So I want to move it. So using common sense, I try using the usual strength, but it's too heavy and it's huge and I can't do it. So what do I do? So I use what physicists and the field of physics terms as leverage. So what is leverage? Leverage is basically a fixed point or a fulcrum. You can call it whatever you want. It's a fixed point that enhances the input force. Okay, I want to push it, right? The push can be considered as an input force. So basically, leverage enhances that input force that incidentally gives the desired result. So I wanted to push that huge object out of the way. So using the leverage, the whole act was easier. Okay. So the question arises why we use this term that is dominantly used in physics, in finance. So, what does the term leverage have to do with anything related to money, about which financial management deals? So, let's try and understand that. In financial management, when we refer to leverage or a fixed point, we are referring to fixed cost. We use fixed cost as a fulcrum or that leverage point to get the enhanced result, to obtain the desired results, which is the enhancement of shareholders' wealth. Okay, we use fixed cost as a leverage to increase shareholders' wealth, which is the primary objective of financial management, which is wealth maximization. So let me illustrate that one more time. Watch carefully. We use fixed cost as a leverage against other expenses or other operating expenses to gain or enhance shareholders' wealth. Okay, so moving on, these are a few concepts that form a part of degree of operating leverage. Moving on, we have these couple of formulas. Okay, we have two formulas, number one and number two. Okay, so in this video, what I intend to do is I want to derive the second formula from the first. So I'm going to use the first formula here and I'm going to derive the second formula out of the first one. That's what I intend to do, and that will thereby help you understand why we use the second formula in all our problems. Even in our exams, we use the second formula, right? So I want to explain why we use the second formula instead of the first. Both are correct, but I want to explain why we use the second one, how we obtain that. So let's get down to it. Now, this is how we calculate EBIT as the first formula suggests. So I'm going to use this one right now. Percentage change in EBIT, we need to consider EBIT and percentage change in quantity. So how do you calculate EBIT? I've assigned specific letters for each and every one of these items. So that is any sales or selling price, you need to multiply it with the quantity. So quantity times selling price or sales minus variable cost gives you the contribution, and the contribution minus fixed cost, you'll get EBIT. Contribution minus fixed cost gives you EBIT. See, we have obtained EBIT. That is the numerator. We've got this. Now, let's deal with the second one. You've got Q. So we need to calculate percentage change of both of these. So let's move on. To elaborate further, watch carefully. Now I'm going to do the derivation. So degree of operating leverage, I'm just writing DOL equals percentage change in EBIT divided by percentage change in Q, that is quantity. Before we get into percentage change in anything, I need to explain how percentage change works. Anything, be it EBIT, Q, or distance, speed. So any value, when we calculate the percentage change, we use the current value. Okay, we deduct the current value by previous value and divide the whole thing by previous value. So basically, percentage change in any value equals current value minus previous value divided by previous value. Okay, let's keep that in mind and let's apply the same to this particular formula. So I'm going to call the numerator A and I'm going to call the denominator B. Okay, so let's try and solve A. In the previous slide, we saw how we obtain the EBIT value. So EBIT is, since we're dealing with percentage change, we can call this as Q1 because it's the first one. Q1 times selling price minus variable cost, which is the contribution, minus fixed cost, minus again Q0, which is the previous value, into selling price minus variable cost, which is the contribution, minus fixed cost, which is the EBIT. Now that's the numerator. So current value minus previous value divided by previous value. The whole thing divided by previous value, which is Q0 into P minus V, which is selling price minus variable cost, which is contribution minus fixed cost. So we obtain this particular formula. We've solved or we've obtained the value for percentage change in EBIT. Now let's try and understand the value for the denominator. Denominator is easy. It's only Q. So Q1 current value minus Q0 previous value divided by Q0 previous value. So that's how we calculate the percentage change. Before we go further, we can further simplify this formula by cancelling the F. So if we multiply minus and minus, that's plus. So you can cancel out F and F in here, plus F and minus F. So you're left with Q1 into P minus V minus Q0 into P minus V, the whole divided by Q0 into P minus V minus F. You saw what, did you understand what happened? We cancelled out the F because when you multiply minus with minus, it's plus. So we've cancelled minus F and plus F, and we've got this formula. And if you notice further, we have common term here, right? In the numerator, we have PV, P minus V common in both the factors. So we can further simplify this as Q1 minus Q0 into P minus V, the whole divided by Q0 into P minus V minus F. Right? I'm mathematically deriving this. So we can solve it further in this way, right? So now, since we have simplified both the numerator and the denominator, let's give them a different name. So I'm going to call this 1 and I'm going to call this 2. Now we need to divide A and B, right? So you've got the solution. Now let's divide them both. So dividing 1 by 2, that's what we need to do. Okay, so let's try and divide this. So let me write it in this way. So it's this numerator q1 minus q0 into p minus v divided by q0 into p minus v minus f. Okay, this is number 1, and we divide that by q1 minus q0 by q0. Let me write it neatly here. Q0, which is number 2. Go back and refer. So I've divided this value by this particular value. Okay. Now, before we do this, there's another simple mathematical concept, right? So when we divide two fractions, say x and y by a by b, right? You cannot divide them. So what you do is you take the reciprocal of the denominator. So instead of solving it this way, you write it as x and y into b by a. You've taken reciprocal of a by b, right? So let's apply the same concept in here. Okay, so we can write this as q1 minus q0 into p minus v, the whole divided by q0 into p minus v minus f into, let's take the reciprocal of this, q0 into q1 minus q0. Are you able to follow this? We've taken the reciprocal of the denominator, just like how I explained it a minute ago. Now we can cancel out q1 minus q0 in both of this. So when we multiply them both, we end up with p minus v into q0. Let me write it in this way instead. We end up with q0 into p minus v divided by q0 into p minus v minus f. So what is this? If you observe carefully, q is the quantity. Quantity times, you have to multiply the quantity with any value. So selling price minus variable cost, what is it? It's contribution. Right? And then selling price minus variable cost is contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is EBIT. Now that is how you obtain the formula contribution divided by EBIT. Let me just go back and prove it to you. Remember, it's contribution divided by EBIT. If you go back, do you see this? So what we've done in this calculation is we have basically derived the second formula out of the first one. That is why you need to use the second formula. We can go ahead and use the first one, but it is cumbersome. Okay, it takes time. Okay, we have to first of all find the percentage change in both the values. Instead of that, we're going to use the second formula, which is better. Even in your exams, use the second formula. Okay, that's about it. Thank you for listening. I hope you found it useful. Please subscribe to this channel and click that bell icon to get notified whenever there's a new video. I hope you found this useful. Go ahead and have a nice day. Bye bye.